compute as being computing, but compute in the large sense of IT, and what's the opportunity for us together in the months and the years ahead. So first, let's share a little commercial of what we have been succeeding together. We are leading with probably around 1 million customers. We have a lot of partners working together in our ecosystem. We have reached the #1 position in servers, the #2 position now, strong #2 after the acquisition of Nimble in storage, and we are also the #1 provider to the cloud under all of its forms. So it's a great position, but more importantly, this has happened owing to you, since over 70% of these sales are happening to our partners. So we are a partner-centric company, as it was highlighted yesterday at the Onstage is made, and this commitment to our partnership will not change in the future. We always have been very consistent and will remain that way. This is the core of our DNA. We don't see that the market is changing, but it's changing in a positive sense. The demand for compute is dramatically growing. It translates into a number of different factors and different customer situations. But all in all, the explosion of data coming from all kinds of points of creation now is just exploding and creating like a new beginning for data analytics. This is what's fueling everything else. It's a world, it's a civilization led by data. And we have the chance, all of us, to be in the middle of this and try to play our cards in the best possible way so that we maximize the outcome and the return for us. It also means that it's more and more competitive because there are more and more players. But given the position we have on the market, we have a very strong play at our hands. One very important factor that is guiding our strategy is that the endpoints are moving from the data center only to now a number of different places. It's moving in the cloud, it's moving at the edge, it's moving in the things, it's moving with the portable things that we personally own, but also with the things that are only things by themselves. So this is creating profoundly a shift in technology, and it's creating a profound shift in the need to manage this data end-to-end for a given enterprise. So the impact of this change is quite massive as it relates to the cloud. So the cloud was a marketing gimmick we saw 5 years ago. Now it's a big reality for all of us, and we are all wondering when we go and visit a customer, how much will be on-prem and off-prem 3 years from now at this customer. And it's a real discussion. It's a real challenge, but it's quite a challenge for the customer himself or herself, because this challenge comes with a lot of decisions to be made, dilemmas and compromises. Not everything is being created equal. The customer, this is probably what's on top of mind for the customers right now. What it also means is that the hardware is not less important, because the hardware is actually specializing in this area of big data, and we see a renaissance of HPC, of mission-critical big data analysis and so on. But it means that primarily the software is more important, because the software is driving a lot of this transformation. And not only the software at the application level, which is going through a huge reset, moving from the legacy Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, to a new wave of Mesosphere, Docker, and so on. So it's kind of a new developer-centric model. It means that the way to look at software and the way to look at hardware is like you need a layer in the middle, which is this aggregation layer, this orchestration layer, which is something that does not really exist as such right now. Cloud-native applications are clearly transforming the way people are going to do things. Not yet, but more and more for the IT-centric companies, for the company born from the cloud, born from IT, we see that this is the new black. And clearly at HPE, as I will show later, we have been very strong at this transformation, actor in this transformation, a curator, Antonio was saying this morning. Finally, as the industry transforms and matures, happens what happens in any industry, which is some people get out of business, some people are consolidating, and it's not very easy to find its way out. Look at, Bill later on is going to speak about flash storage. Remember, flash was new, or flash was kind of super new 3-4 years ago. Companies like Pure started from scratch and suddenly were immensely successful, but now many people are coming with flash. We just acquired Nimble, so who is going to acquire the next one? And if nobody does, then what's going to happen to them? How can they survive standalone as a one-product company? So this creates opportunities for consolidation, and being in our position of being one of the 2 or 3 leaders in the infrastructure market puts us in a very strong position. Also keep in mind that following 5 years of next transformation, we will have $12 billion of net cash in our balance sheet by the end of August. So what you have seen, the 6 acquisitions that we've done over the last 18 months, it's not going to stop. It's only limited by our capability to integrate and your capability to integrate in your own sales model and train your people and everything else. So this is a way to put together what you've seen over the last day or so and what you will see in the next 2 or 3 days. This is really the foundation of our strategy and how we see the market evolving and why we have structured ourselves between the data center, the hybrid IT, and the edge. Because we believe these are actually 3 horizons that converge into a 4th one where we around this room want to be the winners. And this horizon is the intelligent distributed computing. This is a world where self-healing prevails, where basically there are not going to be all these people running around the data center with a screwdriver and with a smile to make the customer believe that they deserve the service money, because it will be done by AI, predictive analytics. This is a world where deep learning will be the rule versus preset applications guiding everything. And this is a world where, this is the first step, there will be seamless data orchestration between these 3 different levels. So we are focusing on each of these levels. In data center, we're offering specialization, segmentation. I will show you this later on, but you know probably most of it. But this means basically one size doesn't fit all any longer. If I have a data center, I have it myself, I own it, I run it for a reason. The second is cloud computing, and this is where this decision between on-prem, off-prem, multi-cloud comes into motion. And the third one is intelligent edge, and here obviously it's a whole new beginning for all of us. It's a gold mine for services and solutions. And some of you are starting to pivot your business that way because you know that there is money to be made in an emerging market. So the way we approach the first 2 horizons, data center and multi-cloud, hybrid IT, make it simple, is that we are thinking that not only do we need to have a very broad range of infrastructure where we will make no prisoners, and for sure we have competition, but we will make no prisoners because we really want to be very, very strong at this level, which is the foundation, our DNA, our history. But we also want to create the next level, in which you see right now areas of strength, but you haven't seen the whole story yet that we are deploying, which is starting with ILO, then into OneView, APIs, and the new stack that we are building as part of our hybrid IT story. And then more and more embedding predictive analytics to manage the whole thing. And on top of it, obviously the 2 families of partnerships, the one with the legacy vendors and the one with the companies in which we are invested. So at the bottom, you see all these product families that we have. If you look at some of these names, they did not exist 12 months ago. ProLiant has been here, this is a 10th generation, Synergy is new, Simplicity is new, SDI is new, Integrity is now going on x86, Cloudline is kind of new, Nimble is new, and our partnership with Arista is new. So a lot of novelties, I would say, to make sure that this foundation is very strong. But as we take our customers to this journey, remember, first horizon, second horizon, third horizon, fourth horizon, what we have learned, and things starting to do very, very well, is that one size doesn't fit all. Each market segment is going through a specific journey. Let's start with SMB. Yesterday, Michael Porter and I were launching our new ClearOS family of servers. I don't know how many of you know who ClearOS is? Michael, you have work to do, not many yet. Michael is the CEO of ClearOS. So, we are trying to think what will be the ultimate IT object that will be made in a small enterprise. And we're going at it kind of two ways. We continue to do towers. We're doing now micro towers, like this, at $399. But then we're loading, very, very interesting app shop, which is what ClearOS does. And then we're doing Easy Connect, which is something similar. And then we're having Hyperconverge, which is a plug-and-play kind of traditional IT integrated solutions. So we're trying to make it plug-and-play for on-prem for the SMB market, so that as customers evolve, they have a more and more difficult choice of going out, because they have something very simple on-prem. For the classic enterprise, it's really about new stack, which will give the orchestration across all levels. Then it's building Synergy, which is a private cloud in a box, and then Gen 10 will continue to fuel traditional IT. But within the enterprise, we have sub-segmented the market. And I encourage you to do the same in your business, because it is through this market segmentation that you are able to flag a uniqueness, value for you and for your customers, and then you get suddenly into a place where you have much less competition, because you own the discussion. You own the discussion with hybrid IT because you come with new stack and with Synergy. You own the discussion in mission critical because you come with the SAP HANA transformation, replacement of the classic SAP ERPs, where we have 65% market share. So you are just in the guiding line here, and with the next generation of Superdome coming from the acquisition of SGI UV, you are by far the best player and the market leader. Then you take the discussion in HPC and AI. Not only do we have Apollo that we created 3 years ago, but we now have SGI, and we're adding machine learning with a unique partnership with NVIDIA, which I think we are announcing this week as well. So in HPC, we're becoming now very, very strong. And then storage. Storage, for the last 11 quarters in a row, we have been winning market share. We have done super well with 3PAR, not only 3PAR, but super with 3PAR, and the transition from spinning media to flash. And we've been doubling our business with you together every quarter for the last 2 years. And now we basically seeing that this is becoming the core of the market, and the core of the market is moving from the very high end to the middle. So we're acquiring Nimble, and Nimble comes with an additional capacity which is self-healing. Is InfoSight. So Bill will be talking about this later on. So Nimble brings a lot for us in storage, and we're going to be super strong in flash and in the whole life cycle of the data. Data center networking, partnership with Arista, but we continue with Flex Fabrics, and our Alto line for service providers is continuing to develop itself. And then there is this service provider play, which is now a third of the market. So service providers are selling to our enterprises, but we're also selling to the service providers. And there are kind of three families of service providers. There are the pure plays, like the infrastructure guy, XaaS or SaaS. And there are the ones who basically come from the telco background, the CSPs, or the OEMs who are now integrating more and more IT because they are preparing for the IoT themselves, so they integrate more and more on what we do. These three segments are growing like crazy. They come with different economics, and they come with a very different way to engage than the enterprises we have traditionally been used to work for. So my advice to you is, if you want to leverage the strengths of everything we offer today and will offer in the future, make sure that you have a special a mindset to address service providers, and you don't go and sell to them the way you would sell to an enterprise, because they have different needs, and we'll be offering different flexibility and scale in the future. With Cloudline, in telco, we come with a lot of IP, where we can either offer NFV solution, over-the-top solution for the media contents, or now even with the universal IoT platform. And for OEMs, we can integrate any possible way depending on the degree of specialization that the customer wants to build. This is, I think, the really printout of how we want to go to market with you in the years ahead. This unique segmentation, we have built ourselves and we are investing so that we lead in each of these segments. The one where we lack quote-unquote leadership right now is networking. And so we're starting with our Arista partnership, and we are really scratching our head to understand how we can be even stronger in this segment of the market in the future. To conclude, if I am sitting where you are sitting and think about what it is to partner with us, I would say think about us together being the market leaders. We are not going to go away. We are instead going to invest our $12 billion moving forward to further strengthen our focus on the 4 horizons that I've shown earlier. We have a clear strategy and a clear strategic journey, and you are part of it. You are in the middle of it. You are in front of it. We are not going to do this without you, and we're not going to succeed without you. We know that. So this strategic journey we need to share and together learn how we adapt ourselves to the market, to the evolution of the market, so that we together go and win on these different islands of growth. Software-defined innovation. Don't think about us like the hardware guys, but think about us at 2 levels, the hardware guys, and still super strong, but also coming with this layer to orchestrate the multi-cloud, the hybrid IT on top of it, and it may take another 6 months, another year, another 18 months, but we'll come with a very, very strong suite at this level. And finally, think about segmentation, think about segmenting your business, because one size will never fit all anymore. And our strength against the Amazon and the Azure and so on is that we are very, very good at tailoring our solutions for the specific needs of our specific customers, while they are forced to take it from a very holistic perspective. And we need to make sure that we cultivate this difference. Thank you very much. At this point, Suzanne Burke, our VP of Marketing, is going to continue and take us to the journey of security.
Thank you, Alon.
Thank you, Suzanne.
So, there are 2 key elements to helping you as our partners really win in the market. First is knowing where to hunt and how to capture growth market opportunities, and I think Alon just did an outstanding job really highlighting our insight into where the market opportunity is and how to segment that market. But the second part of the equation in order to win is you have to have great competitive differentiation in terms of the solutions that you can bring to your customers. So what I want to do is I want to talk about some of the competitive differentiation and new capabilities that we bring to the market. So let me start by talking about this idea of it really is about a hybrid IT world. Alon said it, and obviously our customers, our light customers, have evolved in many cases either as small companies that have gone maybe started on public cloud and then as they grew started looking at how to move into on-premise cloud environments, or as enterprise customers that started with specialized IT in their data center and are rapidly expanding and evolving to a broader hybrid IT environment. And then Alon mentioned even now we're seeing customers that we are working with day to day that are looking at this as a multi-cloud environment where they've got multiple hosted service providers or multiple public cloud providers in addition to their on-premises cloud and their specialized IT in their data center. Now, the problem with this evolution in hybrid IT is that it's complex, and our customers are coming to us on a regular basis, as I'm sure yours are, saying, I'm trying to find the right mix, but it's as much about making the right trade-offs and compromises as it is about driving business outcomes. And so there are pros and cons for having IT on-premise. You get the control, you get the security, you can drive your compliance initiatives, you can better manage your critical data. But, you know, CapEx is at a premium right now, our customers don't have it. You know, they've got to over-provision in order to get ready for unpredictable customer demand. So all of those things are the challenges. On the you know, not in my data center, in somebody else's data center, sure, you know, swipe your credit card, agility, great for sandboxing, new application development, but there's that cloud cliff that, you know, our customers are starting to talk about as they try to scale in the public cloud environment. They bump up against that idea that their data is locked in, that scaling is extremely expensive, it's not so easy to manage their compliance initiatives, there's latency around you know, applications that may not be able to deal with that latency. And so these are the trade-offs that customers are having to deal with on both sides of the coin. So what do we need to do together? Our partnership with you is about creating new levels of agility, security, and economic control for our customers. And that's what we're here to talk about today, is how are we going to do that? And I will tell you that we're almost giving you a preview here of what we're going to be announcing to customers in 2 hours on the main stage with Meg Whitman and Antonio Neri and with Alon Antrioli. So I want you to listen to this. I want you to make sure you come to our sessions for the customers so you can see how we're really bringing new levels to each of these areas. And I'll start with agility. First of all, it's about automation and about simplifying IT processes, especially processes like you know, provisioning new firmware, you know, maintenance, provisioning new applications. And so one of the things that we're doing, and Alon mentioned it, and you're going to hear from the CEO of ClearCenter, Michael Proper, shortly, is we are building end-to-end solution stacks that enable you to deliver new value to your customers, especially your small, medium customers, but even enterprise customers that have needs out, you know, outside of the data center, campus edge, you know, in remote office, branch office type environments. We're accelerating data center applications with new innovation only from HPE around scalable persistent memory. This is bringing the speed of memory with the persistence of storage together so that data-centric applications can run significantly faster than they've ever been able to before. So imagine being able to get 20 times improvement in restarting, let's say, database applications, something like that. Then we've got our OneView, HPE OneView 3.1. It is the heart and soul of our software-defined infrastructure. It is where you're getting that software-defined intelligence to help you automate the provisioning of applications for your customers. So if you are working to build end-to-end solutions and need to rapidly deploy those stacks for your customers, HPE OneView will give you that capability of sort of that one button, you know, pick your application template and deploy and provision and even tune, you know, for that workload. And last but not least, the real secret ingredient here is intelligent system tuning, and I'll just tell you one thing about that. It is like taking turbo mode from your Intel, next generation Intel processors and being able to use turbo mode in a whole new way. Even for applications that have never been able to take advantage of turbo mode before. So super exciting new innovation that will help you drive margin and value out to your customers. In addition, we're going end-to-end with security. We're providing now in our new generation, Gen 10 infrastructure, the world's most secure industry standard server platform. So I'll say that again, the world's most secure industry standard server platform. What does that mean? That means your customers get end-to-end security to protect them every step of the way in deploying and managing their server infrastructure, including, because we build our own silicon in our ILO 5 ASIC chip, we have built an immutable security fingerprint into that silicon that only the firmware that is, the legitimate firmware will have the matching fingerprint and enable your servers to boot. If there's been any kind of malware or compromise of your firmware, it will not boot your servers. So we start from there and protect the end-to-end life cycle. We don't stop with security. We bring new levels of agility, we bring new levels of security, and then last but not least, our customers are saying, hey, but we also need the economic control of hybrid IT. We need to take away the compromise of having to decide between CapEx and OpEx. We give them this capability. Not only will they be able to get predictable payment plans put in place, but we take it one step further than just pay-as-you-go. Pay-as-you-go is, table stakes. Now what we do is we actually manage capacity for them. They will never have to worry about over-provisioning. We'll enable them to put the infrastructure they need out there where they need it and not have to pay for it until they actually start using it. And we will completely manage that capacity for them end to end. So these are some of the new innovations that you're going to hear about. This is a summary of the actual competitive differentiation inherent in our new Gen 10 server platform. You're going to hear a lot more about the incredible security capabilities and agility. But just to summarize, so this slide gives you truly that end-to-end view of what we are announcing. You're announcing new capabilities in agility that include the 4 things that you see here: our intelligent system tuning, our HPE OneView capability, etc. New security innovations that go across our industry standard Gen 10 server platform, and new services and new solutions for cloud economics and really giving customers the control that they want, all built on the world's most secure industry standard servers. Now, I spent a lot of time on servers, but I actually want to introduce my next colleague, Bill Philman, to talk about some of the innovations around our storage platform. So, Bill?
Hi, everybody. As Alon said, we're number 1 in servers and we're number 2 in storage. And I've been with Hewlett Packard now roughly about 7 years. 7 years ago, we were number 6 in storage, despite a very strong DNA by Compaq and Digital Equipment Corporation. And in those 7 years, we rode a number of important waves, including organic work that we did internally, and frankly, inorganic work that we did through acquisitions of companies like 3PAR, and now most recently, Nimble. But as Alon said, we're sort of not done. The storage industry is in a consolidation point, and I think part of that is actually driven by us and driven by you. We had a great business model several years ago where we chopped arrays full of spinning media, and when you ran out of the IOPS on that array, we sold you another one. It was a beautiful model, and that's how we kept Mrs. Philbin in her lifestyle. She's grown accustomed. Now, however, it's different. We put an SSD in that has a far different IOP threshold. We've compressed it, deduped it, thinned it, cloned it, and frankly, we all have to sell more storage to more people. Capacities worldwide in storage are going up 6 or 7%. Revenues are not. So we have done this to ourselves, number 1. Number 2, with the advent of technology disruptions like flash, there is a market acceptance at the outset of that disruption to fund startup companies which are unique and provide a value that the big guys acquire the little guys. And I think that is also what's happening in the market. And then lastly, the last thing our customers want, your customers want, is one thing in the data center. So if you're an independent storage play, focusing on a particular part of the market, I think that's going to be very, very, very tough going for you moving forward. Now, our strategy is all around providing customers choice. Choice in all flash. And by the way, there's still an opportunity out there, folks, to actually push all flash in data centers. Data centers are no more than 30 to 35% consumed with all flash. And what we have developed is a wonderful lineup from top to bottom in the portfolio. Starting with our MSA at the bottom of the portfolio, a cheap and cheerful solution for customers who have very low requirements around data compaction and data efficiency algorithms, to the high end of our portfolio, which is based on XP7, for customers who have zero tolerance for availability issues, 14 nines of availability. So we've got great bookends on both sides of the product. In the middle, it's all around applications, application provisioning, application enablement. If you've got an application which requires co-residency of server and storage together, you should be looking at SimpliVity. At the high end, the discussion that we're having here at the show is sort of the next generation of our composable infrastructure storage based on Synergy. So if you've got a application-centric deployment approach, which is more and more where our customers are talking about and your customers are talking about, we're leading with SimpliVity and Synergy. And then, most importantly, we've got a great all-flash lineup within our appliance business with Nimble and StoreServe. Nimble is a great product, simplicity at the core, organized around VM-centric workloads. You've got 3-part at the top. Massively scalable, 3-way async, synchronous replication for the most demanding workloads. So if you look at sort of the complete lineup, never before in the 7 years that I've been associated with Hewlett-Packard Storage have we had that complete lineup that supports all the applications that our customers are demanding. But it doesn't stop there. With the increased data storage underfoot, I was at a customer last week and they were saying that they have 120 petabytes of storage, 40 of it is actually Hadoop. Unstructured data growing at massively, we need to take a slightly different approach to the way that we manage storage in our data centers, much akin to a self-driving vehicle. The whole premise of a self-driving vehicle is that you can learn from the diagnostics in the vehicle, the telemetry that is home in the vehicle. You can apply a set of cloud-based analytics both on the driver's experience and the driver's environment around them. Apply global learning to that, and with the goal of having a safer and a faster experience as you go from point A to point B. That's all about what self-driving is all about. Well, what if you could help self-driving storage? As Alon talked about, one of the great values of the Nimble acquisition was a capability called InfoSight. And InfoSight is a how. The what is self-managing, self-healing, self-administrating storage. And they've got the rules of 85, I call it. 85% of their cases are determined by them with an outcome fed back to the customer. And they've got an NPS score, a services quality score of 85, because that experience is magnificent. Think about your customers who are off sliding credit cards on Amazon and they want 10 terabytes of storage. Do they worry about the rest of that transaction, where it's running, how it's maintained, how it's protected? No. We can deliver that same experience, and the value to you is if you're not worrying about maintaining the storage, you can participate in transformation exercises, transformative exercises with your customers to get them to where they need to be. The last concept that I want to talk to you about is data protection. And this is the one that we want to talk about the least. The funny thing about it is that we're in Best Buy buying electronics. The first thing that a pimply-faced teenager behind the counter asks you when you purchase a piece of electronics is what? Do you want a service plan with that? Do you want to protect your investment? Well, why is it that we don't have that same conversation with our customers? As data sizes grow, traditional backup capabilities are insufficient to actually provide a customer a restoration point at the point of a failure. The most important place to put data protection is on the array it's from, The next most important place is an array like the array it came from. So you can use it for dev tests or DevOps or some sort of analytic applications. And then finally, you can put it on a third-party array like StoreOS. There's a wonderful opportunity when you sell the customer primary data to actually sell secondary data at the same time. So the big three: know, learn, appreciate, have confidence in our all-flash portfolio. Number two, we are going to change the storage industry the same way we changed it for all-flash. We're going to change it by making that storage self-healing, self-managing. And number three, don't forget about selling secondary storage when you're selling primary. That's what I've got for you today. And it's now my good pleasure to introduce, for the partner community, a man who needs no introduction. The editor-at-large for CNN, our friend Steve Burke. Thank you, buddy.
No introduction. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I hope it's a good thing. Anyway, it's really incredible to be here at HPE Discover. And I've been doing this for 30 years. And to see the pace of innovation and the sheer amount of innovation that HPE is bringing to the market is really invigorating. And it's really about you guys out there leveraging that innovation to make money. And that's what we're going to talk about today. You know, one of the things I love about HPE Discover is it brings together all these really smart people and technology disruptors. And we've got three of the best and the brightest here today. So let's bring them on up and get going with this thing. First, we've got, you've already heard about him, ClearCenter founder and CEO Michael Proper. He is redefining the small business IT landscape with mind-boggling innovation. Really, this is about you guys, a potential hybrid new IT platform that completely redefines the cost, the security, and the savings that you can drive in that market. It's really incredible. And Michael has an incredible story too. I mean, he's been a technology entrepreneur since he was 16, grew up in foster homes, eventually made his way from California to Utah, and has been starting technology companies ever since. It's an amazing story, Michael. Really interesting. So thanks for joining us. Next up, we've got a guy who I say has been in training, has been a technology disruptor since he was a baby. He's the vice president of product operations for Nimble. All the innovation, he's driving it. Dave Cressy. Dave has been the CEO of several technology companies, and he's got an MBA with distinction from the Wharton School and a BA in biology from Stanford. So Dave, thank you for joining us. And finally, last but not least, we've got Dr. Gladina Konen-Lostenland. She's the Chief Marketing Officer of Imagine Communications. Imagine is disrupting the broadcast industry. It's basically bringing the Seleno One next generation compression platform built on HPE technology, and it's allowing the broadcaster to really move the broadcast signal to the internet. It's an amazing story, and you talk about smart. She speaks 3 languages, and she's got a PhD in signal processing and telecommunications with honors from Rennes University, France, in collaboration with the University College of London and the Institute of Oceanography of Hamburg. And she recently received, to top it all off, an MBA from the University of Toronto Rotman School of Management. Let's bring her on up, Dr. Gladina. All right, guys, so let's get right into it. Michael, I want to start with you. You've built this totally disruptive ClearOS platform, Linux-based, on HPE. Talk about the technology disruption you're bringing to market and what it means to these guys out here in terms of making money.
Well, technology disruption is not different from what everybody else has already used technology for, but where it's on-premise and shifting to off-premise, there's a lot of confusion, especially when you come from the managed service provider sector. How many in this room, by raise of hands, are actually an MSP or managed service provider? Okay, so at least, what, 50% of you? So you've also introduced, or at least seen, the cloud service providers start emerging. You've seen your customers starting to use services off-premise, Google Apps, Hosted Exchange, Office 365, and there may be confusion on what's on-premise versus off-premise. And what we've really been focused on is helping to emerge this new hybrid service provider model, with an operating platform, which you've already heard a little bit about, ClearOS, as well as you'll hear about virtualization elements of that in the future, but effectively helping HPE Hewlett-Packard to enable these new generations of hybrid service providers to make more money and to have less cost, but deliver better value and sticky to your customers. So there's a lot more details to it. One of the biggest real disruptors in this whole technology stack is it's not just a conversation around the server anymore, but the server, network, and gateway all combined with one hardware device that sits on premise that then scales to off-premise cloud-based services.
And the partners that have embraced it are driving huge sales growth, and the customers love it because it's more secure, right?
Yeah, simple, secure, and affordable are really the areas that we focus on. The partners that currently have found it and then adopted it, their customers are paying less and they're making more money, and they're using a platform that they're able to scale their business on better.
Dave, you guys have really brought the all-flash market. HPE paid $1 billion. Talk about the all-flash first that you guys have brought to market.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me start by how many partners out there are also Nimble partners, or we're covering a few? Yeah, I know there's actually a big overlap between the partner communities. Alon mentioned that 70% of revenue goes through the partner community at HPE. For Nimble, that was 100%. So I want to give a big thank you to all of you out there for supporting us. But yeah, I mean, there's a great history of innovation inside of Nimble. InfoSight's already been talked about a fair amount, but obviously a very central part of what our value proposition was from day one, the idea of predictive analytics and really being able to get to a point where we can predict and prevent issues, not just in storage, but all the way up the stack to make sure customers stay out of trouble, which drives a tremendous experience with our technology, 6 nines of availability. We partnered or coupled that with the first purpose-built hybrid array, which we went to market with, and then an all-flash array, and had over 10,000 customers at the time of our acquisition. So just tremendous customer growth. And then recent innovations for us, we talked a little bit about multi-cloud. We've come out with a new service called Nimble Cloud Volumes, which is a way for partners to participate. If a workload is moving to the public cloud, there's still an opportunity to offer a storage service that may be more appropriate for the workload moving there. So we're excited about that. Just come off the truck. And then secondary flash, which Bill mentioned about in terms of that secondary storage play, data protection and how important that is. We now have a play as well, which joins a very rich portfolio within HPE.
Dave, the guys that took it, the partners that were in there early with you, driven a lot of margin, a lot of sales growth, right? That's what it's about.
Absolutely. And again, we couldn't thank you enough. And I know you've shared a lot in our success. So again, thank you.
Doctor, talk about for you, the security is central to what you do with these broadcasters. Talk about using HPE server storage and networking and what kind of security you're bringing to the table.
Now, okay, and before I do that, I'll do like my 2 other panelists here. I'm going to ask a question to the audience as well. How many of you know what Imagine Communications does? Okay, so I need to tell you. So Imagine Communications is a technology provider to the media and entertainment industry. Basically, in a nutshell, everything that happens behind the camera all the way to almost at the home, we are involved to allow the creation of content, the distribution, the making of a program, and the monetization of that program. So just to give you an idea of what we're doing. And so why is our partnership with HPE so important? A few years ago, we decided to stop doing the black box hardware, proprietary hardware that the industry I come from is accustomed to. And we started to say, we're going to take advantage of this the COTS platforms that are available, but not all COTS platforms are equal. So you got to select the ones that are the best ones, another one, right? Because what we're delivering on those COTS platforms is our software solutions integrated as a product, as a solution for the broadcast and broadcasters. And live TV is something that does not support failure. It costs a lot of money to be off air or to not be reliable. So you have to select the differentiated platform. So we run all of our transcoding. You mentioned selling new ones on the distribution side when customers move their content over the top for mobile or web or any other multi-screen applications, but also when they make a program, they are now moving their operations to the cloud because we can enable them with a reliable platform where we have virtualized our software applications. They run on HPE. Either, by the way, they're not too sure what the cloud is, so they like the on-prem approach first, and their own data center. The big ones get that, and then they're becoming more accustomed to what about the public cloud, especially for disaster recovery applications. So, in a nutshell, for us, security is very important because you've heard, many media companies being attacked. And that's their number one concern. Now that they understand that cloud is okay and that it will work for live TV, they want to make sure that they're not being attacked. And so being able to demonstrate our solutions on the HPE continuous innovation, because we're moving from Gen 9 to Gen 10 now, but what's important is this long-term commitment that the focus on security is high and that it has moved away from just a software antivirus system, but it's now gone into the firmware and the actual hardware on which the solutions are is critical, and it's a differentiator. When we compare ourselves to our competitors in the industry, no one else can provide that level of security.
I love it. You literally bet your business on it.
That's right, exactly.
I love it. Michael, talk about the best use cases for the ClearOS, the Linux platform you bring in. And it's disrupted a lot of technologies, a lot of vendors. Talk about it.
Yeah, so I'll start with the last in line. So the technology vendors, historically you use like Cisco or Microsoft or maybe SonicWall or Burke to do things like firewalls, routers, intrusion detection system, file server, print server, messaging server, all those types of outcomes. And you're using different hardware, different vendors, different interfaces. And what we've really focused on is simplifying all that into one web-based system that is literally as simple as a website to use. That does all those features, but they all use one directory, one software stack, one hardware platform that then centrally connects to a service delivery network that delivers disruptive, high-volume, low-touch, scale services that are very, very flexible. So this is the first part of your question, so you as a service provider literally can use one platform, but it goes across all of your customer base. Maybe they're in manufacturing or real estate or financial or banking or, there's different use cases, and you as a service provider can listen to their needs and select the apps that they actually need. It also is built on top of Red Hat, which is a very true, trusted platform that also can run multiple other applications. And in the end, organizations like maybe distributed retail organizations, with point-of-sale systems, digital signage, maybe surveillance systems, all need one system to run all three of those different types of outcomes. This can do it. Or maybe it's just financial institution that does taxes, but in lots of different environments, and they need to have users that go from one location to another location, but have single sign-on, and all those offices connected, and maybe multiple internet connections. They're all different types of use cases. In the end, it's not that complicated. It's kind of like what's sitting in your pocket, a cell phone. You've already seen it happen in the cell phone sector. You've seen it happen with DOS to Windows, but now it's happening in the server world, and we're combining in the network and gateway world. It's something that people are getting used to, but it's growing by the masses. We currently have over 400,000 global adopted systems that are registered in over 150 countries, in over 80 languages, and continue to grow at about 150 a day. Every single day that we don't touch, you, the partners, find the customers, deploy the technology. It's a sticky technology for you, and it's disruptive because if other folks don't jump on this bandwagon, because it's built on open source technology, you will reap the rewards of not paying for the actual software and only paying for services that you actually figure out your customers need. So it's a very disruptive and sticky new type of way to innovate. And it's consistent with what Susan and Lana are talking about. It's that middle of how do you get something on-premise but have a architecture, a web-based simple architecture that is that middle layer that you can actually communicate through it with. So hopefully that makes sense, Dave.
No, it's fantastic. Dave, Bill talked about the breadth and depth of that all-flash portfolio. Storage line, it's really amazing to see. You guys are coming into the market with another all-flash segment of this. How should partners out there be thinking about the nimble all-flash storage and what you guys are putting to market and how they can leverage it?
Yeah, so obviously it's super exciting to be part of the HPE family. I think Bill talked about the consolidation happening in the marketplace. And look, I mean, I think we feel like we built true product innovation and differentiation, but we were limited by the breadth of our go-to-market reach, and frankly by the breadth of the overall portfolio as well. So a lot of our work was partnering with third-party vendors to try to create broader solutions, and now we're part of the #1 data center infrastructure company in the world. And so how exciting is that to now feel like our solutions are part of this broader portfolio? And so for partners, look, I think you now have a great weapon. For those of you who don't know Nimble, please get to know us, because there's a lot of great sizzle and sauce in terms of what we deliver within the solution to customers. And again, I think it's going to be a great add to what's already a very, very potent portfolio inside of HPE.
Dave, how about these guys bringing the InfoSight predictive analytics across the whole platform?
It's phenomenal.
Quite a testament to Nimble.
Absolutely. And look, I mean, I think that was, it's one of those things where when acquisitions happen, you never really know how things are going to work out. But both the cultural fit of the two companies and kind of the shared vision for what we can actually do in a broader sense is what's got us really excited. And so InfoSight and really bringing that self-managing, self-healing data center concept across the stack is something that's super exciting for me. It should be super exciting to our partners and our customers.
Doctor, so you guys, I want to focus on this because this is important, and this whole idea of the industry's the world's most secure servers backed up by industry certification. What does that mean to Imagine Communications? What does that mean to you?
Well, we're in a very highly competitive industry, similar to this. So for us being able to differentiate on what is the #1 concerns of our customers as they transition to an IP virtualized software-defined infrastructure world is to be able to rely on both compute and storage, by the way, that are not only super reliable but are clever. Like the analytics, all of that is something that we're going to be able to put a value on and makes ourselves stand out from the whole industry. So it's super critical to have this relationship with HPE.
Guys, we got like about a minute left. Real quick, each one of you guys start with Mike. We'll go right down the line. Call to action for partners out here before we let them go.
Booth 519, stop by it. We'll go through it one by one with you, or visit ClearCenter.com, or go to the tower servers within the HPE portfolio, ProLine servers.
Yeah, Nimble Storage is out there on the floor as well. Please come by, get to know us, get to know our solutions, and make them part of your pitch.
Yeah, and if you're in the service provider segment, we deliver OTT solutions that can help you sell more functionalities to the service providers in particular. So come and learn about Imagine Communications.
Awesome. Let's give it up for these technology disruptors. Come on. And HPE, all this innovation. Now we're going to bring Susie Blocker back to bring it home. Thank you, guys. That was awesome. Good job.
So listen. I just want to thank everybody for being here. I hope that was valuable. Make sure you check out our 4:30 Discover Spotlight session with Alon Andrioli, where we're going to introduce in a little bit more detail that world's most secure industry standard server, the security capabilities, and all of the things that we talked about today. So thank you. Appreciate it.